So creative thinking in business is very important to get as cheap labor cost and cheap equipment cost as much as possible.
Hello and welcome to Innovate Sarawak Stories podcast. We are already in the last episode for the 2025 season, and I hope you guys enjoy our previous episode. And if you haven't done so, please watch them. They are available at 𝗬𝗏𝗏 Digital Village and Innovation Hub Facebook, and also in 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗀's YouTube. Just search Innovate Sarawak Stories 2025 playlist, and you can watch all the episodes that we've recorded over there. And this series is brought to you by 𝗬𝗏𝗏 Digital Village in partnership with 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗀. So today we will be talking about a truly remarkable story of innovations that turns a problem into profit and also a pest into a solution. So our guest today is a duo who has looked at the widespread environmental issues, the invasive water lettuce, and found a way to not only solve it, but also to help local fish farmers in the process. So we're joined by Pavithran Julieus, the head scientist and technical advisor of Lettuboost, and also Zulhilmi Reduan, the CEO of Lettuboost. Hello guys.
Hi.
Hello, hi.
How are you guys doing?
We're doing great.
We're doing right. You know, before they both came into the studio, I was imagining that, okay, one is the head scientist, another one is the CEO. So these two guys, probably a middle-aged guy who are already working on something big, but it came to my surprise that these are young men who actually achieve a very, an innovations that's already in a different level, turning a pest into a solution. So it's a good surprise. Please don't be offended. It's a good surprise.
It's fine.
I mean, it's a sign that Malaysia or even in Sarawak itself has a very bright future ahead.
Sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
true.
So, okay, thank you so much for coming here today.
It's a pleasure.
So before we dive into our topic today, can you guys please introduce yourself to our audience
Yeah, sure. So I begin. So my name is Pavithran Julieus. I'm currently the CTO and also head scientist of Lettuboost. I'm also a part-time student currently doing my master's degree in UNIMAS and focusing on biotechnology. Yeah.
Hi everyone. I'm Zulhilmi Reduan. My real name is quite long actually. Muhammad Zulhilmi bin Abang Muhammad Reduan. I'm local here in Kuching, Sarawak. And me myself is the CEO of Lettuboost and the co-founder. We also have Neil Erickson, our COO, who's not here. So the three of us is the co-founder of Lettuboost.
Right. Okay. So can you tell us a little bit about Lettuboost and what is it actually? Why is it a pest that turns into a solution or even a profit?
Yeah, sure.
So basically, Lettuboost is a fish feed that's derived from the invasive plant known as water lettuce. So water lettuce, as you know, is an invasive plant in nature. It has this rapid growth rate, and due to its rapid growth rate, it usually causes eutrophication in lakes. So that becomes a pest as it harms the aquatic ecosystem, right, by increasing its BOD and whatnot. So what farmers usually do is when they see this plant, they usually discard it, right? So it's discarded as waste. So what we decided to do is to think of a solution on how we can repurpose that waste into something useful, to give back to the environment that this plant was once invasive in. And what better way to do that than to convert it into a sustainable, eco-friendly fish feed. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So, okay. So you said that because you realized that it's a waste and you don't want this waste to be just a waste.
Yeah.
You need to do something with it.
Yes.
So, how do you know that water lettuce can be turned into specifically fish pellet?
Mm-hmm.
Fish
pellets, fish feeds. Yeah.
How do you know?
Okay, so basically, one is because it's a plant-based material, right? So most plant-based material could be repurposed into feed ingredients. And it's also known that plant-based materials have a lot of nutritional content such as protein, fats, minerals, and one mineral that this plant is rich in is basically selenium. So selenium helps to promote the growth rate in both plants and also animals. So we decided, maybe we could utilize that particular element of this plant by repurposing it into a fish formulation ingredient. Yeah.
Okay. So, from the perspective of a local fish farmer, what are actually their biggest problem or pressing issues, especially by small-scale fish farmers?
Yes.
And also, how does the overgrowth of water lettuce impact the ecosystem as a whole?
Okay. So, in the part of the farmers, basically, what are their biggest challenges, right? Mostly in the aquaculture industry for small-scale farmers is the rising cost of fish feed ingredients. Because currently, right now, we are hugely focusing or relying on imported ingredients for our fish feed, mostly which is soybean and also fish meal, and this costs a lot. So we are hugely dependent on that, relying on these imported ingredients, and that costs a lot, and this causes the fish feed prices to spike up. So what happens to small scale farmers is they are unable to keep up with this sudden change, so they have no choice but to sometimes go bankrupt, and we do not want that for our small scale farmers. We want to help them. So how can we utilize a local resource that could be repurposed to replace that expensive ingredients?
Yes, and also one issue is not just they can go bankrupt because of that. Another way is they will feed their fish with something that is not a fish pellet, something that, for example, the internal organ of some animals.
I see.
Or there's when I talk with when I do my market validation with other fish farm, they also talk about the possibility on using human meat. So that also can be given to fish, but we don't know. But it can be, right?
The possibility of it.
The possibility. So that's the dark side of the story.
That's surprising. I mean, it sounds like a piranha story, but as you said, it's a possibility.
Yeah. Sometimes if people eat sharks, right? You don't even know if that shark have eaten anyone, or rather nowadays Kuching Food Fest. Years before this, we have crocodile meat.
Crocodile meat. Okay.
Did that crocodile eat any human before? You never know, right? How about fishes? How about this meat is cut into small pieces? So that's a possibility. So we wanted to provide something that is legal, I would say, and something nutritionful for these fishes.
Especially like plant-based lah.
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
Yeah. So, question for Pavithran.
Okay.
So, can you explain the science behind transformations from water lettuce, and then you process it, become a fish pellet?
So the process is not very complicated actually. It's pretty straightforward. So what we do is we harvest the water lettuce where it is usually growing invasively. So we have a farm currently in Reduan where we liaise with the farmer there, and he has this lake that is filled with these plants. So what he usually do is he doesn't know what to do with it. So we collaborated with him and negotiated with him on a deal saying that, hey, what about you give us this feed? You could reduce the waste and we could convert it into something useful for you. So we liaise with that farmer, and basically we harvest the water lettuce first, and then we'll have to dry it. And after going through a drying process, we'll have to process it by grinding it into fine powder form. And then we'll have a few scientific processing steps, such as solid state fermentation, for instance, where we'll increase the crude protein content and reduce the fiber content. And then move on to the formulation stage, where we'll mix it with the basic ingredients that's required for fish feed, basically. Yeah.
I see. So that's quite interesting, point from the perspective of processing the water lettuce into becoming a final product, which is a fish pellet, right? So, question for both of you: Do you think that this water lettuce will be in shortage in the future?
Yes, it would be in shortage. It won't be in shortage because of one day, because of something happened, but it can happen for our production. So this water lettuce itself, like PJ said, it is abundant, right? So you can find it anywhere,
Yeah.
and it can grow rapidly. So you can find it anywhere. But if for our production itself, if we focus on, for example, 100 ponds, these 100 ponds will be empty because of our own production.
Yeah.
But then we do have some plans for that, where we run a community project called as Harvest to Heal. So we allow these water lettuce that is invasive for life below water to actually be freely, grow in some ponds. So this is a project that we still in a prototype, Harvest to Heal project, and not just that we use ponds, but we also empowered local people, especially people that is single mothers, single fathers, youth, and B40 individuals. So to actually be part of this Harvest to Heal, where they collect these water lettuce, they dry them, and pelletizing it into a product. So this is a project that we run for the community. With my own background, doing a lot of community engagement, we felt happy to actually give back to the community too.
Yeah, because I was worried not worried for the invasive plant to be, there, but if you're a business, right, you're scaling like fast in the future, and you might need more and more water lettuce, and eventually there's no more water lettuce. So it's good to know that you have like that kind of like sustainable plan to harvest the water lettuce. Yeah. So what was the biggest challenges for both of you while developing this product? Is there any challenges? It doesn't matter whether it's technical challenges or maybe challenges from the outside,
Well, currently for my side, as a scientist myself, right, one of the biggest challenges is in refining the formulation to get that the best formulation where it is on par with the current commercial feed in the market. Because when we substitute those expensive ingredients, as I mentioned earlier, with our waste, water lettuce, we have to make sure or ensure that waste that we incorporate is at its optimum level. So obviously, to tackle this challenge, we conducted a few trials with different inclusion levels of 10%, 15%, 20%, and so on, and tried to find the optimum level where the growth of the fishes would be on par with those of commercial feed. So yeah, that is one of the biggest challenges, in my opinion, for refining the formulation of the feed.
So that's the biggest challenge, to finding the formulation.
In the technical part.
So do you have any challenges from your business side?
From the business side itself, I would say the equipment.
Okay.
True.
He will ask me like, "Oh Zul, can you buy this? Can you buy that? Can you buy this? Can I see how much the cost?
Yeah.
Or can you find it around Shopee ke apa kan?" Right? And then suddenly, the price so insane. But it won't be a big problem because I did some business before. I have been like 3 years experience with a startup business before, and we do a lot of something like a manual way to get the equipment itself. So like right now we do with our 5-step process, we already done one of it to do manually lah for a cheaper price. So the other one still using hand, but soon we will get some equipment for those lah. Yeah, so creative thinking in business is very important. To get as cheap labor cost and cheap equipment cost as much as possible.
I see. Okay, that's nice. All right. So, talking about your product, you aim to refine. You as a head scientist, you aim to refine the formulation more, so it can be on par with the commercial fish pellet. So the question now is, if your formulation is already already on par with the commercial, would it be affordable for local fish farmer? And do you think it is like you can incorporate the same or maybe more nutritional values in your fish pellets?
Okay, so currently at the moment, after conducting our preliminary testing with our tilapia fishes in the lab, we have already seen the growth rate is already on par with commercial feed.
Oh, okay.
Right? It's already on par. We're just now moving to the commercialization stage, so the formulation part is already mostly covered. But in terms of costing, initially when we sell it, it would already be at a price that is already considered affordable, which would be at 250 cents, because we're already sourcing from a source that is considered free.
Okay.
Right? It's considered free. And as we scale, obviously the price will drop down to 2 ringgit, for instance. And those price ranges are already comparable with current commercial feed prices in the market, which range from 2 ringgit 50 cent to 3 ringgit even. So yeah, we could see the affordability there. And if you ask me as a farmer, right, if I were to choose between 2 products, both of them produce the same growth rate, but one of them has an added benefit, which our feed produces, which is selenium. Of course, I would opt for the much more cheaper feed. Yeah. So that's what our feed offers, basically.
Sure. So like you see in the supermarket itself, you see some kampong egg, you see some selenium egg.
Yes.
So some people would choose over the selenium egg.
Yeah.
And also for your information, that selenium itself, it has this kind of thyroid function, so it helps in growth also.
True.
Yes.
For the fish, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
for the fish.
Oh,
For human, not sure.
Yeah. Actually, it's for
actually.
living organisms.
Yeah,
Actually,
for
basically.
living organisms.
Selenium is good for your hair also. So maybe you could, pivot it to a shampoo product in the future. Why not?
Maybe in the future?
Yeah.
I mean, we have a plan. Like it sounds like a plan.
Yes.
Yeah. So so your solution is actually an example of a circular economy.
Yes.
People said that it's a circular economy because it comes from the environment. You recycle it back from waste and everything. So in terms of logistics, how do you handle the collections of water lettuce right now?
So for current way we do it, we just use our normal mobile, just getting it the fish feed, and actually when we arrive at that certain farm, we don't need to actually collect it. The owner itself will ask their employee to actually collect it, because it actually endanger for the species, the life for his ponds. We just pay a bit amount of money and we get it. But for now, our logistic is quite normal, just using a normal car, Persona.
Persona.
But as we scale, we'll get maybe getting the supply chain much better. Or rather, if it's not enough here, we will actually import it from outside lah. But for now, we just do it locally.
I see.
And it goes back to the Harvest to Heal initiative that you mentioned earlier. Right now, we are in the stages to launch it, right, within this 3 months period. If that goes well, then we'll focus more on empowering the community to collect those water letters for us.
I see. Okay, that's actually a sustainable plan for your business as well, because it's better to work with the community, and also it's not only empower your product, but it's also empower the community as well, and the community also getting some knowledge from you.
Advocacy. And actually about Harvest to Heal project, the last final product of it is actually each community, they have their own kilang water lettuce.
A small
water lettuce factory.
That's the goal.
So they will be our supplier.
Yeah.
So we will buy from them rather than we get it from others. So we'll buy from them those pellets. Yeah. So that's the plan lah.
I see. Okay, so my question is, water lettuce grow in a huge area of some ponds, things like that. So does these people has to own a pond, or they can actually grow it in longkang or
okay.
Have you ever think about do they necessarily need a pond to grow the water lettuce?
Okay, that's a great question basically. So water lettuce, the plant itself is an aquatic plant. So what it needs basically for an aquatic plant is a water body basically. So it doesn't have to necessarily be a pond.
Okay.
Right? As long as you have a place to hold the water, it acts as a water body for that plant. So you can even plant it at your backyard if you have a small area where you can fill it with water and grow it. You just need to ensure the pH and everything is optimum, but we have that ingredients already in the market basically to ensure that you can grow the plant in your backyard. There are also plants, as you mentioned earlier, that grow in longkang. Invasive plants like Salvinia molesta. That's also an invasive plant similar to water lettuce. So that is also Lettuboost initiative actually. We're not only just going to be focusing on water
Water
lettuce
lettuce.
alone, but
Oh, okay.
all invasive plants.
Any
Yeah.
invasive species.
Aquatic invasive species.
Yeah.
So, as you mentioned earlier, the question about source, right? We worry about what if this finishes, right?
Yeah.
There's so many aquatic plants
Okay.
species around the world,
Okay.
so
Now I'm
we never
not
run out
worried.
of source. Yeah.
No, I'm not worried. Because basically you can turn any invasive species
Yes, true.
into fish. That's great. That's great. Okay. So recently you guys are the winner of 𝗪𝗏 Pre-Accelerator Bootcamp 2025.
Yes,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys are still in the university. You're doing masters.
Yeah, I'm doing my masters.
And you are about to graduate.
Yes.
So, how do you guys feel? First and foremost, how do you guys feel? You're still in university and you are now establishing a company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a big step, as a student, and you have a business and you're also a student, so you're juggling two things at one time, right? But I believe for me, it's an experience, right? And I feel like it's a great experience. So far, entering the business world, I've learned a lot about business, how the world works, and a lot about money, right? How money works, and the people you meet, the people that you network with. It's really a great opportunity, and I feel that everyone at one point in their life should venture into the business world, Yeah.
So for Zulhilmi, you actually already joined
Yeah. So
the gas programs before.
Yeah.
So do you have any additional knowledge?
yeah. So far everything
any?
is about scaling further. So honestly, I'm not like super macam not comfortable or terlalu impressed because I've been in this stage before.
Okay.
Yeah. So right now for Lettuboost, what I'm looking at is on commercializing it and scaling it up. So with my knowledge before, I really just throw it to them, feed them all this knowledge, and then ask them to read this book, that book, all those books, right?
True.
But he added something by watching a lot of movies also.
Yes.
So
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we are doing great on that part, and for me itself, I'm looking forward a lot and really admiring how they can catch up with all this very fast. Because before this, I'm doing business quite a lot when I was started before this. And then when doing the journey alone, there's no one to motivate you. So having them around is very, very fun because Neil have his own character, PJ have his own character. PJ is like the kid here, Neil is like someone that is, can be done. So
Semua boleh lah.
yeah,
Semua
so
boleh.
everything is I feel like it's a family with Lettuboost itself. So that's great, not doing things alone. Yeah.
What's one most impactful lessons that you both learned from the recent TPAB?
Zul first?
Okay.
Other than
So-
the monetary, benefits that you guys get.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So from TPAB itself, the best part that we went through was the first day. What's the coach name? I missed out it, but she talked about learn about the founders. So learn about the founders is not just learning about the founders around us, but we also learn about ourselves also. Discover who we are, how we take risks, how we actually see this business, and how we want to value our own business. So that is the best part because we don't talk about our product at the time. We talk about ourselves. So it really opened our eyes. We are blocked with all the phones, laptop. I was so, like in Sarawak we call CPAC. I was like, I need to do a lot of things on the laptop. But then it got like, put outside. I was like, okay, just play with it lah. And then actually I had super fun, like from the morning until evening. If we see it in the overview, the people should be tired because of all those activities, 10 activities. But then because it was so much fun, you don't even feel tired and you still enjoy it up until tomorrow. So yeah.
On my side, it's more to how they taught us design thinking. So design thinking is a very important skill that you have to acquire in today's world lah, basically, because it teaches you how to think critically, not just on the business aspect, but also you can apply it in every other aspect of your life or whatever thing that you're going through. So design thinking is something that I think every youth should have, and also everyone, not just youths basically, it's not limited to youth age category, but everyone should have, because it helps them to expand their creativity and their critical thinking skills. Yeah.
So one bonus questions. So since you guys has different background, right? How do you guys meet, and how does this Lettuboost actually become, you know, we decided to be friends and we will do this together.
Okay. So actually, Zul and I, we are like we have been friends since our foundation days already.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've already known each other since our foundation days, and I think we have our own friend group, right, where we are all together. But over time, I think Zul also saw me, I'm actively participating in all of these innovation competitions, and he's also actively participating in all these pitching competitions, and then we've always admired each other's work basically. But at one point, Zul reached out to me. He said he wanted to pivot basically 𝗬𝗵𝗵𝗀𝗀 into something that's more solid, which is a product based. And then he said that, I saw you doing this innovation, right? How about we collaborate? And I was like, yeah, why not? I mean, I've always wanted to do that, right? So yeah, that's how we basically got together.
Yeah. And then on our first win of pitch, right?
Yeah.
In that 1 week, we won about 20,000 ringgit Malaysia in that 1 week.
Yeah.
So when we just started, we won. So start all the company thing legally, and we try to make it commercial nowadays. Yeah.
That's nice. Like you guys are complementing each other.
That's
you know, like, Zul has the business skills. You know, you have the scientific skills, and the other founders. What did he do?
Yeah,
what does he do?
He is the Chief Operating Officer. He actually should be part of PJ, right? Technical part.
Also.
But then on operating side, there's a lot of things need to be done. Although it just 5 process into fish feed, but there's a lot to be done in that 5 process, the detail lah. So that's why we discussed to actually put Neil into action for all the operation, and he have this capability because it seems like nothing is impossible for him.
Yeah, he's like semua boleh.
Semua boleh. Yeah, we need that spirit, you know, like certain things can only be done by people who has this kind of like
mentality,
that mindset of like boleh toh. You know.
True.
Yeah. So okay, talking about scientific skills, you know, science and technology. So nowadays, the biggest challenge in Malaysia in general is to spur STEM interest within the youngsters. You know, a lot of people nowadays STEMs are not appealing to them. Yeah, they're rather like, you know, maybe do sastra or maybe do arts, literature, and things like that. For them, it's much more easier. But do you believe it needs to change to make it more exciting, you know, to make STEM more exciting and also relevant for young people? If you are the one that maybe a teacher kah ataupun the one who, you know, what is your method to spur the interest in young people?
Yeah, I believe the status quo right now is that a lot of young students or students in general, they tend to, you know, move away from the science stream because they feel like it's too technical, and then there's too many stuff to memorize, and all this stems from the idea that science is ingrained in the textbooks, right? So science is ingrained in the textbooks that we read, so we feel like there's too much to do, and then we have this pressure on scoring it. So actually science is beyond that. So what youngsters should understand is science is actually beyond textbooks, and it's actually around us, and how we could embrace that into our daily lives, right? So incorporating science into our daily lives is what makes it fun. Like what we're doing right now, we identify a problem in the ecosystem, then we convert it into something useful, and that's through science. So only science has the power to do that. So once students see that potential, they'll be able to pivot back into, you know, the science stream and see how fun it really is.
It should be also for me, for the method to actually make people interested in science itself, is how teachers want to, or the model to engage with the student about science. So if they start with theory and then start with the implementation, it must be hard lah. because when theory is already boring, people already thought science is hard. So make it fun at first. Start with fun. So one startup that from Seed Lab, what is it called?
Edu tutor, if I'm not mistaken.
Edu something. So they have a concept or the best method, because when I listened to their presentation last time about their project impact, I felt like I want to be a student that joined their program, because their concept is making a treasure hunt but about science. So people start with implementation first, and then started to learn about theory. And this treasure hunt they put a real person there. For example, if geologists, they will put real geologists there. They will collaborate with universities, and if they need a chemistry person there, they will look for someone that is actually working with chemistry, or a doctor to actually show about passion, everything, right? So they will put real person there to actually inspire the student, not just through the activity, but to show the impact or the person that can be from doing all those activities.
That's nice to hear, because I'm also used to be a science stream student, and I think nowadays it needs to be spurred more, the interest, because if not, we will have like shortage of youngsters who are capable in the scientific skills, which is very, very how do you say, necessary nowadays. So okay, so if you had a laboratory, right? If you both have a laboratory and you could only use 3 items in it for the rest of your life, what would they be and why?
If I had, that's a pretty big question for a scientist, because we use so many stuff in the laboratory. To just categorize into 3 would be quite hard. Let me think. Of course, the first one would be the microscope.
Okay.
I love using the microscope. It gives me an insight into, the world that is beyond what we see, right, through the naked eye. The pipette, it's a must for all scientists. I think all scientists in the lab understand how important a pipette is, right? We use it so many times throughout the day. And the third one would be, for me, in the lab, it would be the measuring cylinder. Because you need to measure. You have the pipette, but then how do you ensure that you have the right volume and everything? Of course, you have to cross-check that with the measuring cylinder.
If you ask me,
but it's very limited. 3 is too small. If you ask me, I have much more in my list. But
if you ask me, I would say something like the pelletizer, right? Something that can make money. Pelletizer, the extruder, something that actually bring value, like the final product or something.
True.
And also, what's the drying thing? The oven.
The oven,
You can use it a lot. You can make money with a lot of things.
You are a business person.
Business side.
Even if you're talking about the
laboratory,
the equipment, you will think about
how to get money.
Equipment can make money.
Because those are assets,
True.
Like for me myself, I started investment quite young. I started with a low investment, ASB lah, very low. So and then I getting aggressive, because and I start to invest in gold later on. And then I start to buy physical gold for my mom. But I tell them this one will give back to me lah after 5 years. And then I start invest in digital gold. So I see assets as something that have value over the future. So it's about how you make something that is stand still into something that can give you a lot of values. For example, like water lettuce. No one wants to use it. No one wants to eat it. But we can bring value out of it. What makes me think like this is because when we talk about business, right? Construction business. Who is the rich guy there? People who sell stone, right? People use a lot of stone for building.
The quarries.
The quarries, the dirt. See, you can see like, just by selling dirt, you can make a lot of money, right? You never thought of it. That's why people say, if you can sell your grass, you're already on the right track.
Right. So, in brief, so can you give some message to every young person out there in Malaysia how would you convince them that science and agriculture, coming from the founder of an agri-tech product, how do you guys convince them that science and agriculture aren't just textbook? They can be about solving real problem that beneficial to our daily lives.
Okay, so basically, science and agriculture is obviously more than just textbooks, because even going back to before textbook days, right? We have farmers who work on their plots and crops, and that is something that converts into income into the coming years, which you see like rice, plantations, all this. Farming is something that's very closely, not farming exactly, agriculture is something that's closely tied to food security. It has been involved in food security for many years and for many years to come. So it's something that everyone should be invested in and should actually take a step towards. And by incorporating that with science and technology, we can advance it through many more stages, and also many more ways that we can imagine, such as, repurposing waste into a product such as fish feed, or you could even repurpose it into other products, that could help the society in whole. So there's so many avenues, so many routes to science and agriculture, and I think that these two pair really well together in today's society.
Any brief advice?
I would say to the youngsters, maybe someone that is not young anymore, but want to give something, give back to the people outside, is learn to be empathetic. Because when you are empathetic, you understand people's problem, and if you have the right mind, the right heart, you will actually find a solution for them. It's not, in this world, it's not just about you. We are a community living on one earth. So think about it. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, that's the end of our session today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
A huge, I want to extend a huge thank you to Pavithran and also Zulhilmi for sharing the nice story about their Lettuboost, their innovations, which is great. Okay, their work is a powerful reminder that actually the science isn't just confined in the lab, but it's also a tool for real life solving problems. And by transforming an invasive plant into a valuable resource, Lettuboost team are not only helping local farmers, but also demonstrating the potential of circular economy right here in Sarawak. So if you guys are interested in any of the 𝗏𝗏 programs, such as the 𝗏𝗏 Pre-Accelerator Bootcamp, you can check them out at their social media. They are on Facebook and Instagram. Just search the 𝗏𝗏 Digital Village and Innovation Hub. So yeah, thank you all for tuning in to Innovate Sarawak Stories podcast. Until next time, I hope we will see each other again. Thank you, and
Bye.
keep thinking out of the box. Bye-bye.
Bye.